Okay, hello everyone. We've got to call out the governor of New York. She's only been on the job for almost a month, and let's just say she is just like her predecessor when it comes to bail reform. And it's getting worse with the bail reform because now she is expanding on it. That's right. Governor Hochul has signed into law the Less is More Act, which will release almost 200 Rikers Island detainees. Okay? So I'm going to get into what the part of the plan is. And this is a part of the plan to, yet again, ruin Northeast Queens. It's all part of the plan by this machine that is run in New York. So let's read this article because I haven't had time to properly react to it due to family obligations on Saturday. And plus, as you know, I made my formal announcement that I will not be running for the state senate. But it doesn't mean I can be vocal on law and order. So I'm still going to be vocal on that. And I'm going to help my fellow Republicans to do the right thing for the people of New York. So let's read this article. With the stroke of a pen, on Friday, September 17th, New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed the Less is More Act into law, greenlighting a change to an overly punitive system of parole for years that's made New York the state with the highest rate of incarcerated people for parole violations in the country. Well, yes, because we were a state that always believed in law and order. And then all these progressive Democrats decided to come in, decided to change things up. That's why you're seeing your quality of life go down every single day. Wake up and smell the roses, because this is what's going on here. And then they interview an inmate. Why is this inmate on New York 1 getting TV time? You know, this is the demographic that New York 1 appeals to. They love to appeal to the yuppies and all those other people in Park Slope that love that kind of stuff. That's their prime demographic at New York 1. You know, it's disgraceful, this TV station. So I don't even want to read any more to it, but, you know, it's just disgraceful. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So here's what it says. The governor is releasing the transfer of approximately 200 people from the island to state-run facilities. So hopefully they're not going to where I think they're going. Hopefully not. Still, they're going to other parts of New York that they don't even belong in. You know, that's just disgusting. You know, this is what Andrew Giuliani talks about, is that they're trying to put the problems in other parts of the state. It's not just Long Island. It's other parts of the state as well. So, it says the bill will not take effect until March 2022. So, it will reform the state's parole system and authorize the emergency release of hundreds of inmates currently on Rikers Island. And get this, State Senator Brian Benjamin, who is the current lieutenant governor, sponsored the bill. Oh. There you go, folks. The socialist machine is taking over. This is their new world order. I tried warning everyone. I said, this governor may pull a full 180 on us. She may not repeal the bail reform, and it looks like she's expanding it. So, it's clear that she loves her predecessor so much that she wants to keep the legacy alive. You know, let's see the video for a second.
For me, this bill is more than just pro reform. It's a life change. It's freedom. It's safety for everyone that's involved, everyone that's on parole, everyone that's behind those bars.
With the stroke of a pen on Friday, Governor Kathy Hochul signed the Less is More Act into law. Less is More will reform the state's parole system and authorize the emergency release of hundreds of inmates currently on Rikers Island. It was originally sponsored by Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin.
So I don't even want to show you this piece of crap right here. This is our lieutenant governor, who used to be a state senator in Harlem. This is part of the stay woke movement. And look at this. David Reference there too. He supports this agenda. This is going to lead to a Republican revolt next year if people have common sense in the state of New York. You honestly think that you're going to put Andrew Giuliani and Lee Sullivan down next year? No. No. People aren't going to take it. If you have a brain cell, they're going to say, enough is enough. This is not what we signed up for in New York. The lifelong people like me, who have been here for 26 years in Queens, this is an insult to us. And this is clearly what's going to happen if things don't change. So I'm going to get into everything. So here we go. I thankfully turned off location services in Google Maps, and I put a fake location so that way my real address doesn't get leaked out. So trust me, I already come prepared. But I'm telling you, I know what's secretly going to happen. And I'm sorry to put the mass hysteria into everything, but you know what's going to happen next. You know what's going to happen next. They're not going to a state-run site. They're going back to the Wyndham Garden. That's the Wyndham Garden right here. See? I'll move it a little bit to the right. They're going back to the Wyndham Garden. You know, I bet the governor wants them to be in Fresh Meadows. I bet she does. She loves the Bill de Blasio plan so much. And knowing our fate, Eric Adams may do the same thing too. Oh, I'm Eric Adams. I don't want the upper middle class areas to be okay. I don't like Asians. I don't like Jews. So you know what? I'm going to double cross you guys and put Rikers inmates in this hotel. That's how Eric Adams is. He's secretly a racist. He's hanging out with Al Sharpton. And so is Kathy Hochul. This is the thanks we get for being a neighborhood that median home income is $90,000 a year. This is what we get. This is what we get. Insult. You know? So, I mean, anything is given right now. You're looking at, and I'm sorry to be alarming of this, but let's just show the map, and let's just prove a point. Let's just draw the red. Look at this. Let's just zoom out. Now you get a better idea. So, this is part of the plan. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to draw it clearly. Anything from here, let's just put it from Flushing too, because Flushing's the same fate as well. Anything from here, all the way here. This is secretly the Democrats' secret hiding spot for the homeless to be dumped. This is their secret hiding spot. They want to completely target the entire northeast section of Queens, from College Point all the way to Glen Oaks. And it's a very scary thought. Don't be surprised if you're in Little Neck and you see a homeless person, because they've already gone over the county line of Great Neck. And trust me, I can go on about Long Island, and I don't even want to focus up on that. But you know where my fate's going to be. You know where my fate's going to be in the next couple of months if Curtis Lewa doesn't win. Okay? I'm going to have to prove a point. Just to show you where I'm going to have to end up moving you. Right? This is where I'm going to have to end up. Exactly where? Show you right here. Where's the Delaware sign? You get the idea that I'm going to be traveling between Maryland and Delaware, but Let's see if I can get the other side of the highway. Ah, I am so sorry. I wish it didn't have to be an epic rant, but it's come down to this. Yep. This is where my fate's gonna be. This is where my fate's gonna be. This is where I'm gonna have to end up. I don't want to have to end up in Delaware. But if things are looking bad with Eric Adams, if things are looking bad with Kathy Hochul, I might as well deal with the dysfunctional mess. I mean, it's not as bad as in Delaware. I mean, don't get me wrong. John Carney hasn't done anything crazy yet in Delaware. But thankfully, Delaware is a salvageable state, because hopefully there will be a Republican governor elected in 2024, hopefully. So that's where I may have to focus my time and energy on. Here. Because it's only a matter of time that my fate's going to be sealed. I don't want to have to end up in Delaware, but that's where things are ending up. It's a very scary thought to be thinking about that. But that's what it looks like right now. That's what it looks like. Honestly, I don't want to move. I don't. This is my home for 26 years. New York City is where I belong. Right? I mean, this is a beautiful place, New York. Right? We have beaches. We have beautiful parks. We have, a lot of wildlife, and Delaware has that too. And even parts of Maryland and Delmarva have it too. And even I got Genetique in Virginia. But this is where it's all available to me. I'm in Queens, so I can go into Long Island. I don't want to have to lose that. But it's looking like that. And then I'll mention, New York One didn't even cover this, because this is an urgent story we got to cover, because I don't want the video to get too long. But that's why I'm titling this video, The Agony of Repeat, brought to you by Kathy Hochul. That's what I'm titling this video, to prove a point. Take a look at the public safety page. No, they don't mention that a cop was shot over the weekend. No. Let's read this article. Off-duty officer in Queens injured. Husband shot in standoff with police. Cops in Queens traded fire with a husband who held his off-duty officer wife gunpoint inside their South Ozone Park home on Tuesday morning. So this happened last week. Look at that. At approximately 8:40 in the morning, the NYPD received a report of an off-duty officer in need of assistance on 129th Street and 133rd Avenue. Upon arriving at the scene, law enforcement sources said patrol officers were met with threats and they attempted to communicate with the husband. Members of the 106th Precinct then proceeded to call the Emergency Services Unit for assistance. ESU personnel arrived a few minutes later, and while attempting to continue the dialogue, the suspect shot several times at the officers. During the standoff between the suspect and police, the female involved was able to jump out of the second floor window. Chief of Department Rodney Harrison explained during a post-standoff press conference the male involved then shot in the direction of the female and the uniformed ESU personnel. Officers returned fire, causing the suspect to retreat back inside the window. So, the woman who was held hostage was taken to a local hospital and was last in stable condition. Rodney Harrelson said the off-duty officer was able to escape by jumping out of the second-story window of her home, injuring her leg in the process. Then the husband unleashed a hail of gunfire after his fleeing wife, taking a bullet to his right arm, returned fire from officers. Okay, and then it says the hostage negotiation unit and a detective from the 106th Precinct were able to work with the suspect's brother to help coax him out of the home without further incident. So, I will mention, shout out to the 106th Precinct, because it is an annual tradition that the 106 and 107 Precinct here in Fresh Meadows they actually have an annual charity softball game. And, it benefits both communities. I always root for the 107, but still, I mean, that's a scary situation. And New York 1 didn't even cover that. That's just a point that, again, we are forgotten in Queens. If you even check the Queens part of New York 1, look at this. You think it's anywhere here on the Queens page? Look at this. They haven't updated anything from Queens. This was a major story that the other outlets covered. And then, look. You got the Queens Courier. They cover this. And they have to. Okay, and it says here with this act, it claims that these inmates will be released with technical parole violations such as the missed curfew and marijuana use. Okay, so the marijuana thing is one thing, because remember, marijuana is legal, but there are other minor crimes that these inmates should not be let out. No! And then you get de Blasio praising her. I mean, why aren't I surprised? So, there you go. Our lady governor thinks it's okay to let this happen. Okay? I'm not taking a stand with this. Okay? And you know who we need. You know who we need to help prepare our state. It's only a matter of time. Okay? We need the dream team in New York. Alright? We need the dream team. Alright? It starts with Curtis Sliwa this year. And then it goes to Andrew Giuliani next year. And I will mention, thank you to Curtis Sliwa for already endorsing a candidate in the governor's race. That is the right thing to do. I know, again, I am supporting Andrew Giuliani. In fact, the good news is, over the weekend, there was a poll that came out from Siena. Giuliani had almost a 30-point lead over Selden. So, I mean, yeah, Selden supports getting rid of bail reform. Giuliani supports getting rid of bail reform. So, we need our dream team. We need them now. Sliwa to help refund the police in New York. Giuliani to immediately sign an executive order repealing the bail reform. Our dream team is coming. But we all have to do our part. We all have to. Alright? What we need to do is have a revolt. Okay? What we need to do is have a revolt. And what we need to do, just like we did in 1993, what we need to do is turn out in Queens. We just need 70% of people, 60 to 70%, to turn out on November 2nd. All we need is that number. And Curtis Sliwa will be our next mayor. All we need. It can't happen. And I wish the Liberal Party would endorse Sliwa. Because Sliwa does have some liberal points of views that they would love. And look at this. Dinkins didn't even have an alliance. I mean, thankfully, we do have the independence line. Right? And then what we need to do is do something bigger. Trying to find it. Ugh. Okay, I'm close enough. Here we go. This is what we need next year. We need a bigger turnout in upstate New York. Like 1994. Alright, we need a big turnout. It can't happen. Right? And we need Buffalo to turn out as well. Because we can lose a few counties in the northwestern part of the state where Governor Hochul is from, because she does have that on her side. But if you get people from Utica and Syracuse and Watertown upstate, there's a chance that Andrew Giuliani becomes our next governor. And remember this, even though Nassau tends to lean Democrat in the past couple of years, there are still loyal Republicans in Nassau County. So, there's a lot that needs to happen. And there could be a Republican revolution at 22. Because you know how Biden messed up with Afghanistan. There is a possibility that you could see the House of Representatives, for an example, take back the gavel. I could certainly see Kevin McCarthy becoming Speaker. Because the Democrats next year, they're going to have an identity crisis. Because Pelosi's not running in 2024. No, my bad, 2022. Yes, I messed up like Skeletor. But Skeletor will not be running next year. And you want proof? You want proof that she's not running. Because we all know the Democrat Socialist Party of New York is coming. Alright? They have their leader, AOC. Alright? It's quite obvious what's going on. You know Pelosi is not going to run. You know that. You know that. It's only a matter of time when Pelosi decides not to run that there's a slim chance the Democrats may give the gavel to AOC. AOC secretly supports not having police surround her. She's a hypocrite when it comes to, having the Secret Service around, but she doesn't want the police to patrol her district. You know what's going on here. And something tells me Nadler could be next to retire. He's getting up there in age. I know my congresswoman, you know my issue with her and the Riders Alliance. I don't even know if I'm going to be redistricted next year. Because the only thing I know about Delaware is our congresswoman, she's the at-large. We only have one district because we're 3 counties. So, that's something to know. And then in District 1, this is something very interesting. That you got a lot of this going on right now. A lot of this. You don't know if the incumbents are running. We know there's an intent that we know for sure that there are going to be a lot of retirements. I just want to see what Democrats are retiring. Yeah, see? Tom Reed's retiring in 23, but nothing in New York. So, as I said, I'm going to wrap up this video by saying that we still have a chance to get our dream team. I really hope so. I mean, I love to be a part of that in the state Senate, but remember, due to my reason why I stated on Saturday, I'm not going to be running. But I do hope that we can make the Assembly and the Senate red as well next year in New York. Because it can be done. It can be. So I really am praying for Curtis Lewa, and I really am praying for Andrew Giuliani. Because we've got a state to save. Just like how Larry Elder tried to in California. And I hope Larry Elder will be running for governor of California again next year, because Newsom's term is up. And I hope that, maybe we can uncover the truth in California on why Elder got double-crossed. There's still a theory with those voting machines. And hopefully, the Democrat Socialists of America probably will figure out how to rig the machines in Queens because they know we can flip. You know how many poll watchers there are going to be in Queens? It's going to be a madhouse. That's going to wrap it up. I'm mad at our governor, and I hope this guy becomes our governor because we need Andrew Giuliani desperately. Or Lee Selman. I preferably want Andrew Giuliani. I really hope Curtis Lewa will be the mayor that we need. So thank you for watching.